to Bobbo's World Podcast. Today we have our special guest, Brandi Aguilar, actress, voice actress, and comedian. How you doing?
I am great. How are you? It's just a little cold outside today. So I'm kind
Yeah.
of nice and cozy in my little apartment here.
Are you still in California?
No, I went to California and I probably told you in passing for my sister's wedding. My sister got
Uh,
married and I'm back in Florida now and it's a lot like California where it doesn't snow much in
mhm.
Florida. But it does get cold. So it's probably about a good 50 degrees outside right now. It's windy too. Where are you at again? Oklahoma?
I'm in New Orleans, and
Oh,
I
where did I get
feel
Oklahoma from?
I'm originally from Massachusetts, so
Oh,
usually
nice.
51 degrees is warm, but I became a wimp. Now 51 degrees in New Orleans is cold.
Oh, yeah. How do you like Louisiana? Do you like it?
I love it. Yeah, it's great. It very compared to Massachusetts, they're way more laid back and not like go 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 and all that. So it's
That's how
nice.
California is too. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
how California is too. It's very fast paced, go, go,
Mhm.
go. I totally understand that.
Yeah. So you
Yeah.
grew up in Santa Clarita, right?
I did. Born and raised California girl, Santa Clarita. And it's about 30 minutes north of LA.
Oh, okay.
And it's right where Magic Mountain is. So when everyone's like, "Where are you from?" I'm like, "Oh, just do you know where Magic Mountain is?" Yeah, that's my hometown. And then Magic Mountain was
Nice.
like all my friends like their first job in high school was Magic Mountain. Um, and if you've ever seen National Lampoon's Vacation,
Yes. Yeah.
Magic Mountain is where they filmed is what they used for Wally World in the movie. So
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
yep, that's Magic Mountain. That's my hometown. Um, it was cool to see that in the 80s, the whole Magic Mountain Tower thing. I didn't know it's been up there for that long, but
Yeah.
yeah, one of my favorite movies.
Did you always watch movies and TV? Is that how you became wanting to be an actress?
Yes. I, I it kind of also runs in my family, and I think maybe I caught the artistic gene. Um, yeah, I started so when I was about 9, I wanted to like I had done like school plays before that, in class and everything. But when I was like 9, it kind of just like hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. So I begged my parents to let me act professionally. And then they put me in acting classes shortly after I turned about 10. And it just kind of went on from there. And but yeah, movies and TV, I remember, being a huge fan when I was
Yeah.
super little. And when you kind of grow up with it. But yeah, I think once I started getting more like, as you get a little bit older, you get a little bit more like awareness. So I was watching actually the movie The Little Rascals. It's one of my favorite childhood movies. And it just yeah, that's the movie that kind of like, I saw other kids like myself, in a movie and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is what I want to do." And before as a small child, I tap danced and did jazz dancing, and all that. And so I quit dancing to become an actress. And I've been doing it ever since. And it's been so much fun. I absolutely love it. And it was easy when I was little to get an agent because LA was right in my backyard. So I acknowledged that I had that advantage, living right there where all the movie magic happens. But it's been great. But it's also been tough. We face rejection every day. So it can be, there were definitely those mentally hard times where I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I'll ever get a part again. And I always worry about that, but it works itself out. It works itself out for sure.
Yeah, to know what you want to do and stick with it at the age of 9, I think I changed my mind like 1,000 times when I was growing up.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
That's I see nothing wrong with that. Sometimes we do change our minds, and sometimes people know what they want to do early in life. I think everyone is so different.
Yeah.
Um, and it's okay, to change your mind as many times as you want until you find what really makes you happy and feeds your soul. Um, like in addition to being an actor, to keep money coming in, I have no choice. I have to work a day job, which I also love. I'm a travel agent.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, yeah. So
Nice.
they're okay with the acting thing. And it's very flexible. So whenever I get like an acting job, I just use sick hours and such, or like vacation time. But I love it. I work from home. It's common in the travel agent industry. And it's great because I love working in my PJs, and they're cool with the acting thing. They like ask me I don't like to really bring it up in work because I kind of keep it separate. But occasionally they'll ask me, be like, hey, what can I see you in? But yeah, no, it works out great. It really does work out nice, and I love it.
Really cool. So your first job was modeling in a commercial, right? At 10 years old?
um it was modeling, so it wasn't a commercial, it was just regular like modeling for
Oh,
Steinmark.
okay.
It was probably one of the first casting calls my parents ever submitted me to. I was 10. And I got the job, and it was really fun. And I remember they put me, so it was the 90s. So they put me in a very 90s, now that I look back, a very 90s looking dress. And I remember at the time, for some reason, I just hated the dress. I was like, oh, this dress is so ugly. Why do the other kids get to wear like something cool and I have to wear this ugly dress? And so I was kind of
Yeah.
like upset about it, but I got over it quickly. And I know I have pictures and video of it somewhere. I have to find it. I have to ask my parents. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. I remember I had just got back from camping, and then I went straight to the modeling job. Um, so I want to say that I had a very like balanced childhood between childhood, school, and acting. Um, I had a very normal childhood and a happy childhood, and my parents were always super supportive of the acting thing. Um, and we had like, they were not stage parents at all. Had a very they were upfront with me from the very beginning. They were like, if you want to do acting, that's great. Um, but just keep in mind you're going to get rejected a lot. And they were right. I still get rejected a lot, and that's okay. Um, they stressed to me the importance of an education. Um, and in order to be, when you're under 18, in order to be in the entertainment industry, you have to get good grades in school. Yeah, you have to maintain at least a C average. It might even be different now, but when I was, doing the kid acting thing, I had to maintain a C average, or I wasn't allowed to work in the entertainment industry.
Wow.
Um,
It's pretty good.
and yeah, yeah, and I would maintain like a B average. I was never one of those kids that would get like straight A's, especially because
Me
I'm not.
neither.
Yeah, yay us. Yeah, I'm not good at math and science. Reading and writing, I'm really good at. I would always get A's in that. Speech or anything like that, I could get A's super easily. But
Mhm.
like when it came to like math, science, I'm not very math and science brain oriented. I actually hate math.
My
So,
favorite subject.
really, are you
Yeah.
good at math? Because I'm
Uh,
terrible at math.
I just like that it's a definitive answer.
See,
That's
I
what
think,
my brain works.
yeah, and I think that's funny you say that, because I think that's what I hate about it, because
Yeah.
my brain is so artistic that I think it frustrates me that there's only like one way to do it. You can't
Yep.
like interpret it, you can't make it your own. What's right is right. Whereas with art or anything artistic, it could be expressed in many
Yeah.
different ways. So I think that's what frustrates me about math, but I'm
Yeah.
also jealous of people who are good at math because I can't do it. For me, it's very challenging.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when like I have friends that do like engineering and family members that do engineering, and I'm so jealous of them because to me that is just so difficult to do. So yeah, I've always been envious of people who are good at math.
Yeah, I was speaking of like grades and stuff. It's funny. My sister was the one that would always like start getting really upset if she got like an A minus or a B. And I would be like so happy if I got a C. It was like
Yes, me
totally
too.
different.
Me too. That would be me in math. If I could get like, I mean, this is going to sound terrible. If I could get a D in math, that's how
Yeah.
bad at math I was. The like harder it got, I'd be like, hell yeah, a D. That's great, great for me.
Yep.
That's how challenging math is for me. It's interesting. I'm like, I think I'm very, very right brained, where I'm really good at like arts, reading and writing comprehension, writing essays. That's easy, or at least it comes easy to me. Where math is very challenging. So a D in math, oh yeah, that's like an A for me.
That's awesome.
Sounds so
Yeah.
bad, but it's so true.
So you went to actual like physical school? You didn't do schooling on the lot of a movie or whatever, did you?
No, well, for the Ego commercial, I did, and
Oh,
that was
okay.
just a few days. I would only really go to school on a set whenever I would book a job.
Mm.
So I had, yeah, I wasn't like, I refer to myself, I was just like a working child actor, but I wasn't like a famous child actor
Right,
like
right.
Miley Cyrus was. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? Like, and even to this day, I'm not a famous actor. I just refer to myself as a working actor because it's true. I mean, as long as I'm getting acting jobs, that's all that makes me happy. Um, I still, just like when I was a kid, I went to regular school. I go to regular work to keep money coming in.
Mhm.
Um, but to answer your original question, going to school on set is very fun. It's also like for me, it's hard to concentrate because I want to be out there filming. I wanted to be
Right,
out there
yeah.
filming, and I would get assigned an on-set teacher, and as we were just talking about, math is my worst subject. So when I would have to do math, I was like, oh, really? Like,
Watching
that
the clock.
totally
Like,
sucks. I know. It's like, here I am on a really cool set, and I'm really excited to be here, but I have to do my math homework. That totally sucks.
yeah.
Um, that was a bummer to have to do my math homework, but um no, it was a great experience. Like I was saying, my parents were not pushy stage parents at all. They were supportive, but like they were not pushy. I think if they had it their way, they would have pulled me out of acting.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah.
because, it's a very, adult business, but I think again, I wasn't super famous like, Miley Cyrus, who else? Shirley Temple, to where
Yeah.
it would have affected my life. I was just a regular working child actor who had cool experiences to talk about now as an adult. Um, and my yeah, I it was cool. And being from California, there were also I went to school with a lot of other kid actors, and they kind of saw it as the same way. They were
Mhm.
um they saw in a from what I know, they saw in a very healthy way.
Right.
um and it was never, my parents never like pushed me saying, oh, you have to get this part, or oh, if you don't get this part, then we can't have our bills paid for the month. So it was never like that. And then whenever I would be on set, my parents would watch me like a hawk just to make sure nobody would take advantage of
Yeah.
me or any weird stuff happened. My parents were always there. Um, And it was, yeah, nothing, not, yeah, nothing like creepy ever happened.
That's good.
So yeah, yeah. So, it was never, it was a very great experience. I
It's
mean, I
good.
got yelled at once on set, but that sucked, but it wasn't like it wasn't like a man being creepy. He just yelled at me in a way you should never yell at a kid. So I think
Right.
maybe that was the only like negative experience that I had. Um, but what are you gonna do? Like things
It
happen,
happens. Yeah.
and yeah, yeah, and but yeah, no, my family's always been very supportive of it, and they're still supportive to this day. They, like I was saying earlier, they stressed the importance of an education, and they, said, acting, it's very unstable, as anything is in the arts. It's a very unstable business, so just make sure that you have, a way of to bring in income, in between
Yeah.
your acting jobs. And to have found that is really good. It's financial freedom. Again, I am not rich. I will never pretend to be rich or wealthy. I'm very middle class. But it's nice to have that, consistent income coming in between acting jobs, because you never know when you're going to get your next acting job. So,
Yeah.
um, and that's where the term like starving actor comes in, because you don't know. Like,
Yeah.
and I always vowed to myself, when I turn as a kid, when I become an adult, um, I don't want to be that stereotype of a starving actor. I want to make sure that I have consistent money coming in. And I think my parents also put it into my head. They were like, if you want to continue this acting thing as an adult, find a good job that, understands your acting thing, and, go with that. And so, yeah, I see it in a very healthy way. And I'm proud to say I'm, not a starving actor. I have the financial freedom, and it takes a load of stress off that I
Yeah.
think, it comes to the stereotypes of, being a starving actor. So it's, yeah, I'm so grateful for day jobs, and then when you do get an acting job, um you're so grateful for it, because you know how hard it is to get. So yeah, it's
Good.
tough, but it's fun.
What was your like first movie role and how old were you?
So my first, if I'm getting super technical, the first time I was ever on TV when I was 8 or 9, and it
Oh wow.
was, I think I was 9, but it wasn't acting. It was for like a Christmas news segment.
Mm,
Then when I was 10, I did a student film. And then when I was 11, I did a commercial for Eggo waffles, Lego my Eggo. And
nice.
uh, that was a lot of fun. I did a lot of theater in Los Angeles. And then when I was 16, I did a TV pilot for Discovery Kids. I
Oh,
booked
okay.
that. And then unfortunately, when they Discovery Kids picked up the show, but they Discovery Kids, instead of making it a kids show, they made it oriented towards adults. So after the pilot, I got let go, and they rehired all adult actors, so that sucked.
That's weird.
And the show actually ended up airing for like 4 or 5 years, so I was like, oh, that sucks. And then my first movie, or I guess like feature length movie, because before that I had only done TV,
Mm,
was a movie that was actually on Netflix way back in the day when Netflix first came out. I was 17, and it was called Greed. And I played like this bad teenager, like a bratty, just, very bratty teenage girl. So that was really fun. And yeah, it was really cool that it was on Netflix for a few years. But it was a long time ago that it was on Netflix. Um, it was on Netflix when you would still order DVDs
Oh,
like
yeah.
through Netflix. Do you
Yeah.
remember that? Yeah, that's how long ago it was on Netflix. And so it was during the time where you would order physical DVDs in the mail from Netflix and then they would ship it to your house. I miss those days.
I know,
Um,
and some
yeah.
people watching this have no idea what you're talking about,
Right,
which is
right. It makes
crazy.
me right, right. I'm like, God, that makes me feel so old.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that and it's unfortunately no longer on Netflix, but yeah, those were the good old days
Yeah.
when you could order Netflix. I miss going to like video stores too and like just
Yeah.
getting
Blockbuster.
popcorn and
Yeah.
yep, picking up your video or DVD, Blockbuster, Hollywood Video, so much fun. And you
Yep.
go in like your PJs. Today's kids will never know.
That's so true.
It's
And
so true. Oh my
you talk
gosh.
about your character on that movie. When I was doing the research for this, everything that they talk about with you is like wisecracking character or bratty character. I thought it was funny that so you play a lot of those roles, huh?
Yeah, I the roles that I feel I do best at is funny roles,
Yeah.
um the crazy roles. I kind of feel like it's kind I kind of gear towards a lot of the roles that like Johnny Depp likes to do because he likes to play
Mm.
like fantasy or like
Yeah.
whimsical roles, and I feel that's what I'm naturally best at. Or roles where you're kind of like the comic relief. I feel like I'm good at that, and that's what I feel most confident at. I can do dramatic too. Like Greed was pretty dramatic. But I have to do a little bit more soul searching for dramatic because it's a little bit tougher for me. So like
Oh, cool.
crying scenes, those are like a little bit tougher, but um, and but I love a good challenge.
Yeah.
Doing the crying scenes because it's hard to get yourself to cry and then make it come off as believable. But for Greed, that's a movie that or a character that I'm really proud of because and I talked about this I think on Instagram not too long ago. Um most of the time they will hire actors that are 18 and over to play teenagers or high school age, and I was really proud that I was literally a teenage girl at the time I did Greed, literally in high school, um not over 18. I was a minor and played a girl my age. So because like they'll a lot of times they hire like 25-year-olds to play high school kids, and you could totally tell that they're adults and not high school kids. So I am proud of the fact that I was literally of high school age when I did Greed and played the teenage girl. So now I kind of am being a hypocrite because when I was 25, I did play a
Yeah.
character of a
Yeah.
17. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel so guilty about it too. Uh, but I was like, I'm gonna write this out for as long as I can. So and I'm not gonna say no to the money. So, it's money's great. Not enough to, where I never have to work again, but I'm still not gonna say no to money if I'm being honest.
It's always good that you look so young and stuff, so that's good.
Well, your 30s are weird when you're an actor because I think a lot of times they don't know if they want to cast you as like the college student or the mom. Um,
Yeah.
I'm still getting auditions for both. Like I get auditions for like, oh, the post grad who just graduated college and loves to go out for wine. And then I get auditions for like young mom who just had her first child or who is pregnant, expecting her first child. So it's like the best of both worlds, and a lot, but it is age appropriate. A lot of my friends are expecting their first child or are just beginning to start their families. So it's interesting when you've been acting nearly your whole life that you audition for every chapter of or audition for roles that are representative of every age of your life, you know. So
So true,
I
yeah.
was just thinking about that, and I'm just like, wow, I am the young mom now. But yeah, it's fun, and I couldn't be happier for my friends that are starting their families, and I love being like the crazy Aunt Brandy, you know, to their
Yep.
kids. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Do you have kids or anything?
No,
No, not yet.
I personally have chosen not to have kids.
Oh, okay.
It's not for me. And I think I knew in high school that being a mom wasn't for me. And I want to, but I do want to also make it clear that I in no way hate kids. I love kids. But you know, being a parent, having the responsibility of being a parent is not for me. Um, and some people might say that that's selfish, but I think it's more selfish, 1,000 times more selfish to have a kid just to make other people happy and make society
Mhm.
happy. And I respect children so much and care too much about children, to bring one into the world just for my selfish reasons to appease society and make people happy.
Well,
I think that,
I've been a teacher for like 18 years or whatever, and
oh, that's cool.
I respect that because I've actually heard parents right in front of their kids say, I never wanted kids. I wish I never
That's
had you,
terrible.
all this stuff. And
Yeah.
I always think like, oh, I wish I could take those kids away from them.
Oh,
Like,
it's awful. It's that's horrible. And see, I think that is 1,000 times more evil and
oh
selfish
yeah,
than to
yeah.
know that parenthood is not for you. I love being the aunt. You know, my sister, she, you know, she just got married. She says that she does want kids in the future. Not right now, but she wants, you know, kids in the future. And she knows that if she has it, we know when she does have kids, I'm gonna spoil that kid rotten. I'm gonna give that kid
That's the
anything they
best.
want. Oh, I if she, you know, goes through with it and eventually has kids, oh my gosh, I'm gonna love that kid more than anything. They're gonna know me as crazy Aunt Brandy. But yeah, motherhood is just not for me, you know. I have no regrets, and people ask me, well, what are you going to do when you get old? And I'm like, well, you know, just because you have kids, you know, I know people who are in their old age and they have like 6 kids and they're still lonely. Their kids never want to see them, or, you know, for reasons. And you know, and I think I also saw the sacrifices my own parents made, you know, for me and my sister. Um, and I didn't, I had a very happy childhood, but my parents, you know, worked very hard, to give me, my sister, a good childhood. And it was stress. I look back as an adult and I see, you know, gosh, how did they do that? That sounds so stressful. My dad getting up every morning, going to work, that's stressful when you have 2 young kids at home. So, um, you know, I decided at a very young age, you know, I don't think this is for me. I don't, I think, I hope this doesn't sound terrible. I want to live life for me. And you know, but again, and maybe some people would consider that selfish, but I think it's more selfish to have a kid knowing darn well you don't want one. I think that's
It
terrible.
It's
Yeah.
also amazing just listening to. It's really cool. I wish I had your mindset because you have such a like for instance, knowing you wanted to be an actor at 9 years old, knowing you don't want like you know what you want in life. A lot of people go through life like, I don't know, maybe I want to do this, maybe this is good for me. So it's really
it's
cool that
it,
you're
it
like
can
so
be
definitive.
tough. Oh, well, thank you. You know, and especially when you go against the grain, and
Yeah.
you, society says, you know, this is right, or you should have hit this milestone already. Like, you know, but I think it's getting, society is shifting a little bit. People are having kids at later ages. It's not unheard of. these days for, people not having their first kid until their 40s. Um, whereas back then, like my grandma, for example, she had her first kid at 16, and had all five of her kids by age 20. Yeah, yeah. And she stayed, but her and my grandpa, were married for 56 years. He was, I think he was 19 and she was 16 when they got married. And that was just what you did back then. It was different. Um, but, you know, it, it it's, and I've told my grandma this too. I was, like, I don't think I'm very maternal. My sister might be. I think she'll have kids, but it's just not for me. And she was like, do what you want. And this is coming from my grandma who loves kids. She wanted one more after having my dad because my dad is the youngest of the five kids. And she still wanted one more. And her doctor told her, no, it's a lot for your body. So, I think everyone's just different and it, it feels right, and, um, yeah, it's something that I've always been very sure about. I'm 100% sure the having kids thing is not for me, but I love, spoiling other people's kids and being the aunt. That's fun.
Yeah, I know you said about the age thing. I've had that thought in my head before where I'm like, oh, I'm almost 40, I'm not married, I'm not this, I'm not that. But my sister or my dad, whoever, will like fact check or like just like kick me and be like, you can still do that even though you're almost 40 and whatever. There's no time limit.
There's no time limit. Exactly. And you're still so young. Like I still feel very young. You're very young. And it's, it's, if you ever want, and especially men, because you can have kids at any age where women have, that window. Um, but you could be like 60 years old and have your first child. Whereas women, I guess, if they never end up meeting the right guy, I guess they could always, nowadays they can freeze their eggs and then, um, have
Jobs
their
or
their
yeah,
child for when they choose to.
yeah.
Yeah, technology's getting pretty cool that way. But yeah, no, it's, I mean, I'm probably about the same age as you. I'm 36. I just got engaged this year.
Oh,
My
congratulations.
sister, thank you. Yeah, my sister is actually younger than me. And she got married before me. And somebody asked me, does that bother you that, she's the younger one and she got engaged and married before you? And I'm like, no, because it's not a race. Like everybody is so different and we all meet our person at different times. I know my friend, she just met her perfect guy for her and she's 43. So there's no time limit. There really isn't. I think I used
Still
to think
waiting.
there was. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I said I'm still waiting, so that shows hope.
I will say dating is hard.
Yes.
I don't know what it's like in Louisiana, but in California it was hard because I think when you live in a more fast-paced state like
Mhm.
California, New York, those places, dating is different. A lot of people don't want commitment, I've noticed.
Nope.
So throughout my 20s, I was single my entire 20s. I went on a lot of first dates, but the guys were just like never ready. There was still like an ex-girlfriend they weren't
Yeah.
over. So it was a lot of tears. And I didn't even meet, my fiance till I was 32. So I I'm kind of like to tell people who are our age and haven't met that right person yet, let's normalize meeting the right person for us after 30, after 40, after 50, after 60. Um, there's always hope to meet that right person. And I think everyone does have their right person out there. They just meet them at different times. Yeah, that person has already been chosen for you and they're out there and the universe is just waiting for the right time for you guys to meet. Um, and when I turned 30, that's kind of how I looked at it. I was like, if there's no if I'm not if it's not my time to meet somebody, I'm actually at peace with it. If I don't end up meeting the right guy for me until I'm like 40 or 45, that's okay. So be it. I'm just going to do my thing and do what makes me happy. Um, and I'll meet him when I meet him. And I just kind of like let go. And it was a very liberating feeling. And it was still in the back of my mind, I'd love to meet somebody, but it wasn't. I realized, I'm going to quit the dating apps because obviously those guys are not serious and just, are wasting everyone's time. um, so, and it takes a load of pressure off at least for me, it did when I got off the dating apps. So, and dating apps are horrible. I hate dating apps.
Yeah. I'm on a couple right now. It's a lot of like fake and I don't
It
know.
is. It is. They're
But
awful. They are so awful. And I think everybody like it just doesn't feel natural because it's entirely looks based, whereas like
yeah.
you can't really go off of somebody's vibes and personality because I'm both. I have to feel a vibe for his personality and be somewhat physically attracted, but when you're on dating apps, it's all based on physical attraction. But I was never one of those girls that was like picky with height. I know a lot of women are picky with height on the dating
Mhm.
apps. That was never me, especially because I'm a smidge under 5'2". So if a guy's 5'6", it doesn't matter. That doesn't bother me. But a lot of girls, they may be a lot of women on the dating apps may be passing up some awesome guys that may happen to be 5'7", and maybe they're like my height. You just don't know when you're going just through their picture. So I don't know. I don't like dating apps. I like, I
Yeah.
think if I were still single, I would prefer just meeting a guy the organic way because you get a feel for who they are. You build a friendship first. It feels natural. Whereas
Well,
dating apps are so.
personality wise, definitely. Like I always say, my whole saying is like nothing against like Carmen Electra, but I use her as an example. Like she's stunningly beautiful and stuff like that. But if I met a girl that looked like Carmen Electra, but she was a total jerk, like then it doesn't matter how good looking you are.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
100%. And that's how I felt about the guy, like, or a guy. Like, yeah, he might be attractive. And I went on like first dates with guys who were very attractive, but their personalities were so boring. And I'm like, well, you're nice to look at, but you don't have a sense of humor and you're really don't talk much, so I don't think it's gonna work out. So yeah, you got it. At the end of the day, it's somebody you click with and you vibe with. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, there does have to be some physical attraction. We
Oh
all
yeah, yeah,
have our
yeah.
own idea of what physical attraction is. um because everyone is so different in what they're attracted to, but the personality and the vibes and your values, it's what is gonna keep you there. Yes, so yeah, and that's why I don't like dating. Another reason is because you may be passing up just some awesome people.
Yeah.
So but I do have a few friends that met their significant other on a dating app, so it works for some people. I think they're in the minority though, because for most people dating apps really don't work. They end up meeting their person the old fashioned way. So yep.
Well,
Yeah.
this totally turned into Bobbo and Brandy's love line.
Right?
uh,
Exactly. Oh, I could go on all day about oh, the horror stories of dating before I met my now fiance. It was actually dating was a pretty negative experience before I
yeah.
met him. I really had no good stories. Um but I look back, and a lot of guys in their 20s are just, not ready and very
Yeah.
immature. But when you're that age, you kind of internalize it. But I
Mhm.
think now that I'm a little bit older, I look back and I'm like, okay, he was just young, he was immature. Um, and I hold no ill will towards those guys that maybe I had liked or went on a few dates with back then. They were
Well,
young, so.
you found your guy now, and hopefully I'll find my girl soon. Uh,
You're going
but
to, I know you will, because you're awesome.
thank you.
If, just from talking to you, you're really awesome. And a lot of women love guys with beards. My fiance has a beard. Women love beards. It's a very
My
manly look.
my mom hates it.
What?
Yeah,
Oh man.
but she's in the nursing home now and doesn't really talk much, so it doesn't. I don't get those comments anymore. But yeah, it was funny when I was younger. She's like, "So when are you gonna shave?" Like, no, I like it.
Like, I like my beard. My beard is cool. No, beard. I've always loved beards on men. I don't know why. Again, it because some women probably don't like it, and then some do.
Yep.
So yup, it'll attract the right girl. So, and you said you're a teacher, right?
I was, yeah, yeah,
You were okay.
yeah.
I mean, I have a few really cool single girlfriends. If you ever want to meet them.
Okay.
um yeah, I love playing matchmaker. um
Brandy's gonna be my wing woman.
yep, I'll be your matchmaker.
That sounds good to me.
Being a professional matchmaker would be, they probably have a lot of fun
You
introducing people
you'd
to
be good
people.
at
But
it.
yeah, I go based on, like, if they have like the same personality. But sometimes,
Mhm.
I have been wrong, like, and they don't work out. And so it just depends. It's like a chemistry thing.
Yeah.
Yep, but you never
Well,
know. You never.
we'll have to talk off of this.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
but getting back to the thing, our Love Line podcast will come out
I know,
later.
it's turned into a love life, dating in your 30s.
Um, so what I already asked the first movie. You also did stuff with wrestling. I heard you met Jake the Snake
Yes.
Roberts and stuff. I
Oh
love
my gosh,
wrestling.
yes. Jake the Snake, it was one of the nicest celebrities that I've ever met. Such a nice
Really?
guy. Yes. Yeah, he's very tall. I would say he's probably, not even joking, probably about 6'8".
Wow.
Yeah, he's tall. I used to be one of the ring girls on Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. It's
Oh,
a
okay.
really fun, yeah, it's a really fun pro wrestling show. Um, that's probably one of the most fun jobs I've ever had. The wrestling industry in general, everyone is so nice. Everyone is so cool. And I learned a lot about, like, how the wrestling industry works. It was interesting to see how they train,
Hmm.
when they perform, and seeing like the wrestling up close. They could really, take a beating. Like, they would
Yeah.
get like slammed on the ground on their literal backs with
Yep.
no, like, body protection or anything. It was intense, and I would even just go like like at times,
Yep.
because it just looked like it hurt. And they get bruised up, but they love it. It's their passion. And all the, like, their, what do you call it, I guess, like their alter egos when it
Their
comes to
character.
the character.
Yeah, it's
They're
basically
really,
like acting. They
it is
just
acting, yeah.
they get rejected a lot too.
Yes, and it is, they're really good at it. It is so much fun to watch, and it's very funny.
Yeah.
Because they have like this, the beef and everything, and or the tag teams. They have like the tag teams, and
Yep.
there's like the wrestlers that are like the bad guys, and then the
Yep.
wrestlers that are like the good guys. And the audience really gets into it too. I really love the
Yes.
audience, and I think it really makes wrestling what it is the audience. They like cheer and
Yeah.
boo like all the wrestlers. Do you watch wrestling at times, or?
I've loved it since probably I was like 3 years old. I've
That's
had tons
awesome.
of wrestlers on this show.
Oh, no
I just
way.
had Jimmy Jacobs. He's a former wrestler, and
That's cool.
his interview went to like 50,000 views. It was my most watched because he talked about you know WWE, the main promotion.
Yes. Yes.
He got fired from there
Ooh.
because he took a picture with his friends, and his friends just happened to be working for the competition. But it wasn't, he didn't do it on purpose, like, hey, I'm taking a picture with the competition. He did it because it was his friends.
Oh,
And at that time it was Vince McMahon was running the company, and he like if you sneezed in front of him, he didn't like it. So he was kind of a wild man. But yeah, I love
That's
wrestling.
cool. His name is Jimmy Jacobs. That does sound familiar.
Yeah.
Um, that's cool. That's cool. That's awesome. Yeah, wrestling, it's very fun. And there's female wrestlers too. So like when I
Yeah.
would see them, I was like, that's so freaking badass. That's awesome.
And
And
nowadays, the wrestling for female, it used to be like bra and panties matches and stuff like that. Now it's like they're really good and like probably better than the men.
they're it's badass. Like I it's so cool to see them do it because
Yeah.
wrestling is even still, I think today, predominantly men. So when
Yeah.
you see women, come in there and want to do it too, I'm like, that's so freaking cool. And just yeah, and they learn, the wrestling moves, and it's just so cool to watch them and watch them train, and
Yeah.
it's very fun. And doing the wrestling show was so much fun, and I made a lot of friends from that show.
That's good.
Everyone was so cool. Yeah, that
Yeah.
that was fun.
I'm not surprised you liked it because you did a lot of theater, and that's basically what wrestling is. It's the
It
give and
is.
take with the audience and stuff.
It is. It's really, really. I wish I still did the show. I miss them all so much. They're really cool, and we have like wrestlers come in to like do an episode, and they'd be like from England, other
Oh yeah.
countries. Yeah, it was neat. And then we got to do like a red carpet rumble, and that's where I met Jake the Snake, because he came to the red carpet rumble episode, and he had like his boa constrictors, and
Oh
I
wow.
was pretty nervous, because I was like, is this thing gonna bite me or kill me? But they were tame, and he had us. They're heavy too,
Yeah.
heavier than I thought they would be. I have a picture somewhere where I'm holding his boa constrictors, but one of the nicest guys ever. He was so humble and so down to earth, and he's a legend in the wrestling
Yep.
industry. So, um, to like get to meet him was really, really cool. And I think he's still doing the wrestling thing, like a
He's more management, like helping out
management. Yeah.
younger wrestlers. So
Yeah.
but he's still, they call it a promo, talking on the microphone. He he's considered one of the best ever because a lot of wrestlers like Hulk Hogan would like yell into the mic and whatever. He would talk very softly. So like people would have to like lean in and like really listen to what he's saying. So it always got over. He was the best bad guy ever. Yeah,
He
he
was
was really good.
he really was. Yeah, he was super cool. And yeah, one of the nicest people you would ever meet. And he didn't act like a celebrity at all. He was really approachable. And
That's cool.
and yeah, again, just I was shocked at how tall he was, because I don't think I'd ever met anybody that tall before, which I think probably comes in handy with wrestling, with like character wise.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was such a fun gig to do. And I think they still do the show, but yeah, my contract ran out, so that was
Mm.
so sad. But I would do it again in a heartbeat if they asked me. I'd be like, hell yeah, I want to go do the show again.
Hit her up, guys.
Yeah, call me. I'm ready.
Yeah, it's fun. I like it a lot. And Yeah, they're big dudes. I'm having them at the event that I'm gonna have. I'm gonna have some of them. So it was funny, we were measuring to see how many tables we could have at the event, or at the venue that we're at. And I had to tell my dad, like, remember, some of these guys are wrestlers and they're like massive human beings. And he's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, there it was cool though because there was another guy who I think he was about 5'3", but he was a wrestler and he kind of like made that as part of his character.
Oh, cool.
Um, yeah, so that was really cool to see just like all these different people from all different walks of life, different countries, different states, different upbringings. They were there to pursue their dream of pro wrestling, and
Yeah.
it was inspiring for me because I mean I didn't know much about wrestling until I did the show, and it's yeah, you're right, it's a lot like acting. You sort of have to keep hustling, learn the craft, um for them train in wrestling and how to take the beatings and
Yeah.
everything. So I really admired like all of their work ethic. That was
Well,
something.
look
Yeah.
who's the number one actor in the world right now, Dwayne Johnson. He was a
Yep.
wrestler.
Yep.
So
Yep. Yeah,
so
no,
it translates.
yeah, the Rock I yeah, the Rock, gosh, I remember him when I was a kid when he was mainly doing like wrestling because he
Yep.
does mainly movies now, right? I think does he
So he will come back every once in a while, and now he actually has a seat on the like board of directors or whatever it's called. So he's part of it, but he does so many movies throughout the years that he barely had. He'll maybe do one show throughout the year, and that's it because he's like crazy busy. But John
Oh, I
Cena's
bet.
doing the acting too. And his last match ever is this coming Saturday.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. That's cool. Yeah, good for him. I mean, yeah, the Rock, yeah, you were saying the Rock was is busy. Yeah, I feel like you're definitely right on the nail with that. Because I feel like I see him everywhere. He's super busy.
Yep.
But that's good. He's booked and busy, making his money, and it's yeah, I feel like I primarily think of him as an actor now. You're totally right
Yep.
because yeah, wrestling, I'm sure you probably can't really do it past a certain age, I'm going to assume. So
Oh, yeah, your body
he,
breaks down. Yeah.
body breaks down, it's a sport essentially. So
Hmm.
yeah, like any athlete, you hit a certain age and it's like, okay, maybe I should retire. But no, The Rock is on fire. He's everywhere. And yeah, he does do a lot of movies. I think of him as an actor primarily now. Good.
Yeah. So do you still have the YouTube channel?
I do. So I kind of took a hiatus off of it because it was, first of all, it was just hard to keep up with, and then
Yes, it is.
it so is. And there were other like platforms that came out like TikTok, Vine. Remember
Yeah.
Vine? I
Follow
loved
her on
Vine.
TikTok. She's hilarious.
I love TikTok. Well, the good thing about TikTok that I like versus YouTube is that the algorithm is a little bit better. They
Yes.
kind of give everybody a fair chance to have their stuff seen, whereas
Yeah.
YouTube is very corporate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's extremely corporate. They only kind of push like the big dogs. Now, YouTube back in like 2006, before they went corporate, was awesome. It was like TikTok is today, where they were all for like the independent grassroots people. It was like a community
Yeah.
where people would showcase their talents, and it was a different world on YouTube back then, and I miss that. I miss vintage YouTube. It got too corporate for me, and it doesn't feel like the YouTube I think we all love and miss, all
Yeah,
us
that's true.
millennials.
I mean, it's also people don't have that attention span anymore.
Right.
Like I'll do like this podcast I'm doing with you right now. Hopefully it gets good views and everything, but when you do a short, which is like what, 60 seconds, 15 seconds or whatever, it gets like thousands of views instantly.
Yes,
And
yes,
it's like,
it's
I work
ridiculous.
hard on this. I don't work hard on that.
Exactly. I think that's kind of like what is, I think probably ever since the pandemic, like the
Yes. Yeah.
shorts really took over. And people are not really watching long form
Yeah.
content anymore. Um, like they probably did in like 2010, which is a shame because there is a lot of good long form content
Yes.
out there. But I think what killed it again is that YouTube became too corporate
Yeah.
and kind of let down all the people who maybe were more independent who made long form content and don't really push their stuff anymore in favor for
Yeah.
like big corporations. So and that's a shame because there's a lot of good stuff out there, whereas TikTok, it kind of gives everybody a chance, and I like that. And I think there's also, what is there, Facebook video, there's also Insta Reels.
Instagram. Yeah. Yeah. You
So
do a lot of Instagram reels. Yeah.
I love Reels. It's so much fun. But YouTube has competition now, whereas back then
Yeah.
there was nothing other than YouTube. And now YouTube has competition with all these other, video platforms. So there's Newgrounds too. I always forget
Yeah.
about good old Newgrounds. But yeah, the internet has changed so much than what I remember and what you probably remember as a teenager. Because there
Dial
was
up.
only so much.
Remember
Yeah.
dial up? That was the
Yes.
awful noise.
Oh my gosh. And then when you would try and get on the internet, you would just hear those like ringtones. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it sounded like kind of creepy. Oh my gosh, those were the good old days. Yeah, that was fun. And then there was, what was there? There was like, I think what was it called? It was after dial up. It was, I forgot what it was called, but it was supposed to make your internet faster. So then there was that, and
Oh,
then
yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and then now there's the Wi-Fi, because I don't remember Wi-Fi. I might be totally uneducated about this, but I feel like I don't remember hearing about Wi-Fi until I was like in college.
No, the only people that had Wi-Fi back then was military, policemen, stuff like that that needed to be connected.
Right,
Yeah, that
right.
we didn't,
Okay.
unless you had a lot of money, then you probably
Yes.
had. But
I remember in high school, I had a flip phone, and I tried to get on MySpace on the flip phone, and I think I accidentally like charged my parents like 50 bucks, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, and they're like, never go on the internet on your phone again, and now it's like a daily thing now. We use our
yeah,
phone for everything, and the internet is like literally in our pocket these days.
yeah.
Kids will never know.
The internet on the phone and the computer is so bad too. Like if you were to say look up I'm from Boston, so look up a picture of Larry Bird, it would like slowly show you like the
Right.
parts of him.
Right, right. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I'm just fixing my lights. Yeah, that I miss those days. And I miss MySpace. MySpace was fun.
MySpace
Decorating
was
your
fun.
page. It was, and like
You could do
decorating.
music and stuff and
Oh yeah, you get to like pick out your song like
yeah.
on your MySpace page. And I would spend hours like just making sure my MySpace page looked just perfect.
Yep.
Oh, such good times. But my first MySpace page got deleted because I was underage.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. So I think MySpace Tom saw my
Uh-huh.
MySpace and was like,
Oh,
"Oh, this girl's underage. She cannot have a MySpace." So I blame it on him. He deleted my MySpace page that I worked so hard on. But joke is on him because I came back the next day and just made myself a new MySpace page, and said I was 18 when I was very well like 15 or 16.
oh, cool.
Um, Yep, yep. And yeah, that I miss MySpace. That was so much fun because then everybody just all of a sudden moved to Facebook.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
then yep, and then Twitter came out, Instagram. So we've got everything these days, but back
Yeah.
then MySpace was like the cool place to be.
Well, here's a trivia question for you. Do you know what Facebook started as?
Wasn't it the Facebook?
No, it was a
Or
hot or not page.
really? Oh my
Yeah,
God. That's it, because it was started by Zuckerberg in like his Harvard
in
dorm,
college.
right?
Yeah, yep.
That is
And it was a
so
hot.
funny.
He was ranking the women in his college.
Amazing. Okay, that I did not know. I know he
Yeah,
started it like in his dorm, and
yeah,
it was just for like the Harvard kids at the time.
yeah.
That's so funny, hot or not. That is hilarious.
Yeah, they had it on, the side of your page has all the options you can go to, like games, events, whatever. They
Yes.
they had it down below on the side of your page for a long time. The hot or you could click on hot or not and like go through people. It was so bad.
That is hilarious. Oh my God, that's so oh yeah. That is so funny. And then I guess they got rid of it once it started like getting more popular.
Oh yeah.
I still I still remember when Facebook only college kids could join it.
Yep.
Yep,
Yep.
you had to be like part of a college and then you had to join that college's network with like your college email. And then I noticed more and more like all of our parents started getting Facebook and it became less college oriented. And
Because they were
I
checking up on you.
yep, they're checking up on us, making sure we're not up to trouble.
Yeah.
I kind of get sad though because I mean I love keeping in touch with my family on Facebook, but it was fun when it was just college kids because we were just so terrible. It would be like let's party, a
Yeah.
toga party, and yeah, those were the good old days. And now I'm kind of glad though that it's not college oriented anymore because now like we're the adults. We're like
Yeah.
the old people. Sorry, that's my dog.
That's
We're
okay.
the old people and now there's like a new flock of college kids. Hello. There's a new flock of college kids and now I'm like are we the old people?
Yep.
Like is that us?
Yeah. You know what's so funny? I'm thinking about like people have no, some people watching this have no idea what MySpace is or flip phone, but you talking about how we're old now. I don't know if you know the YouTube channel Jesser. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
So
I'm going to check it out now though.
it's this guy that does a bunch of like basketball contests and stuff like that, but they're really young. So they're using all this like slang language and like no tap and all this stuff. I'm like, I feel so old right now. I have no idea what this kid is saying.
Right, right. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I watch like yeah, a lot of Gen Z stuff. So like they say what do they say? I like the 6-7 thing.
Oh
I
yeah, I don't
yeah,
yeah.
I don't get it. Like I at first I thought it was like I'm like, does that mean something sexual? I mean, I'm sure it
Yeah.
does. It usually does. But from what I gather, it's like from a song, I think.
I don't even know, but
Yeah.
I do know that who was it? Sydney Sweeney or one of the famous actresses was on Jimmy Fallon and he was trying to get her to guess 6'7" and she was like, I can't say that. I can't say that. And because she thought it was dirty.
Right.
So
Yeah.
she's like,
I
I'm
was
not
like,
saying that.
I was like, is that like, yeah, I feel like so out of the loop. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, what does that mean? Like, I know what 69 means. Does
Yeah.
it have
Yeah.
something to do with that? Like,
I don't
is
know.
it like a different version of 69? Like, I'm so confused right now. Or like, I've heard a lot of like young people say, let me see, like, I'm trying to think. What is some lingo that I've heard?
One of
Um,
them I've been told so by my nephew, he'll be like, "Oh, that's not a great fit, Unc." I'm like, "Fit and Unc." I'm like,
I've
"What?"
heard of that. Yeah, they call you like Unc or
Yeah.
something, and yeah. It's like, is it short for like uncle?
Yep.
I think. Okay, it's like, oh come on, Unc. Or I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, the old heads are unks, I guess,
Yeah.
supposedly.
Oh no. Yeah. They go,
Yeah.
well, that's so cool, Unc. Or like sometimes I do use the term like, oh, that's so sick, like to say
Well, that
something
was our
cool.
age, the sick
Okay, that
thing.
was our age. Okay, yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, that's got to
And
be our age, or that's so lit.
yeah, well, lit was after me, but I never used that. But I remember in Massachusetts, where I'm from, wicked was our thing instead of sick. We would say
Yes.
wicked all the time.
That's so wicked. I learned that from Harry Potter.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, oh, that's wicked. And I think they use that term in England a lot.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yeah, I think so. Yeah. Well, I learned a lot of like British lingo and slang. So I know way more British lingo and slang than I should as an American. But like if you've ever read the Harry Potter books, like I noticed it, like um the characters say in the book a lot of like British lingo and slang.
Um,
And I was like they call each other like gits. And I think that means like, it sounds like it means like another, it's a term for idiot that they use
oh,
in England. That's what I think it is. They use the word chav, which is from what I gather like a equivalent to like a douchebag bro in the US.
Nav?
Yeah, it's like, and
Okay.
I said it to a British person once, and they're like, "Oh my god, it sounds so funny when you say it with your American accent."
Yeah.
Because yeah, like that's awesome. And they use I learned some British bad words too, like wanker,
Oh, I know
knobhead.
Winker. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't be such a wanker. Or I've heard that a lot from British people. Hi, Buffy. Oh, my dog is trying to get on the couch. But yeah, I've learned a lot of British lingo from, Harry Potter and BBC.
Yeah. They'll
Yeah.
speaking of wrestling, that in when they go to Europe, if they don't like a guy, they'll chant wanker a lot.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
I would be honored to be called a wanker. Like,
Yeah.
be like, oh, no, I feel like an honorary British person now. I am, yeah, that would be funny. They use a lot of other words. Yeah. So
That's
I
funny.
love British lingo.
Yeah, I know. Language is funny. It evolves so much. But yeah, so I've kept you for a long time. So I'm gonna go in. I call this my lightning round, and it's just
Sure.
like quick questions. And so we'll start with who's your favorite actor or Mount Rushmore of actors?
Ooh, you know, just for like acting alone, that's so tough.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Um, I like a lot of old school actors.
Okay.
Um, I have a major crush, always have, on Gene Wilder. I know, yeah,
I,
I always thought he was so handsome. And I love a lot of his movies. I like a lot of the funny actors that geared towards more comedy.
mhm.
And like comedians, like I love Norm Macdonald. My fiance got me
Oh,
into Norm. I was
Norm.
so sad when he died.
Yeah.
Um, and let's see. I thought Cary Grant was always a hottie in every one of his movies. um, let's see.
My grandmother loved him.
Cary Grant, yes.
Yeah.
He was actually born in England. I
Oh,
didn't know
I didn't
that
know
until
that.
recently. Yeah. Yeah, and he came to the States I think as a little kid, and that's why his American accent was so good.
Hmm.
Um and let's see. Once I'm done with this interview, then I'll probably remember who my favorite actors
That's
are.
always happens.
It's
Mine,
always how it is.
I'll tell you, mine is Denzel Washington.
Oh, he's good.
I'm
He's very
obsessed with him.
talented. He's very much an actor's actor because I think he
Hmm.
really respects the craft and he
Yes.
works hard at his craft. And he's immensely talented.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's great. That's a good choice. Yeah, he's great. And he's definitely gonna be legendary forever, even long
Yeah.
after he's gone. I he will never be forgotten because he's that good of an actor.
Yeah. Speaking of
Yes.
Denzel, so my next question is favorite movie. My favorite movie is Remember the Titans because
My dad loved that
uh,
movie. Yes.
I've seen it probably 100 times, and I still cry when that kid gets hit by the car and ends up in the hospital.
Oh, I
Oh,
know. I
it's
know.
so
Yeah.
sad.
that is a really well done movie.
Yes.
It's and it is emotional. It's a very emotional movie. And they actually showed it to us in high school a few times. It
Mhm.
was a very common
Me
movie
too.
that they,
Yep.
yeah, that they showed to us in schools. And it's a really good movie. My dad is obsessed with that movie. He
Yeah,
loves that movie.
they showed it in high school because where I was from, Lynn was very diverse with black, white, Asian, whatever, but where I went to high school was not. And they would they would show that to be like, look, we can get along, all that stuff. So it was because it really dove into racial issues in that
It
movie.
did.
So it
It
was good.
did. It did. It's a wonderful movie. Well, now I'm gonna have to watch it again.
Hmm.
Um,
So
because
what would yours
that's a
be?
classic. That's definitely a classic movie for sure. And I think it takes place in Virginia, right?
Yep.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. That's cool. Because my
What is
fiance's from.
yours?
Oh gosh, there's so many good ones. It's so hard for me to narrow down
Or top
what
five?
top five. That's so hard. I will say I really love movie musicals. And
Okay.
I love old movies. Like I love a lot of like 80s movies, um, musical movies. I right now, I really God, there's so many. You're gonna laugh at me. There is one movie that is kind of like my comfort movie. And it's more of like a lighthearted movie. It's the third Bring It On. Bring It
Mhm.
On, Three, All or Nothing. It just reminds me so much of high school. Um, and it's iconic. And I
Specifically
love,
the third one.
yeah, I know, isn't that so oddly specific? It's like the
Yeah,
third Bring It On because there's like six Bring It
interesting.
On movies. Yep, yep. And I love a lot of movie musicals. I love Hairspray.
Hairspray's
I
good.
Oh yes, I love both of them. I love anything John Waters. He's like my
Mhm.
favorite director. John Waters is like God. And I love recently I loved the Wicked movie. I'm excited to see the second installation of a Wicked, the
Yeah.
sequel, and or it's the second part, Wicked for Good. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that. I love both versions of the producers.
Oh yeah.
Yep,
Yep.
the 60s one and then the one with Nathan Lane and Matthew
Yeah.
Broderick. Both of those producer versions are so good. And it's one of the few movie remakes that are just as good as the first one. Um, so yeah, I love both. I have
Man,
some
you would have
other
got along with my sister Sarah. She
is she a big theater kid?
she's the one that passed away in 2020. But
Oh,
yeah,
so sorry.
she's huge theater kid and loved. I remember, do you remember they did the live action Hairspray on live
Yes, with
TV?
Ariana Grande.
Yeah, she was
Mhm.
like glad to be in front of the TV watching that right when it came out. I remember that so vividly. So you
Oh
would
my
have got
gosh.
along with her.
Oh, yes. I am a major theater kid. Anything theater I love. And I've seen tons of like Broadway shows
Mhm.
and oh, so much fun. Like I've seen Book of Mormon, West Side Story, The Lion King, Legally Blonde. Um,
Yes.
I want to see Mean Girls, the musical,
Oh, okay.
on stage. I saw the movie. I mean, it was well done, and I think everybody was perfectly cast. But I think the Mean Girls musical doesn't translate well on film for some
Oh,
reason.
okay.
Yeah, that's just my opinion.
Tina Fey did
Um,
that, right? She
yeah,
created that?
who Tina Fey, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
She did the regular Mean Girls movie and
Yeah.
she wrote it and then they made a stage version of it. Now I haven't seen the stage version yet, but I really want to. But they made a movie of the stage version of Mean Girls.
Oh,
Where they
okay.
sing and everything. And the girl that plays Regina George, the mean girl, looks just like Rachel McAdams. So she was
Oh,
perfectly cast for the role. But it's I think the musical version of Mean Girls doesn't translate well onto film. I
Okay.
think, yeah, it was one of those musicals that just does, in my opinion, that doesn't really work as a movie, so to speak. But some people liked it, so I was really looking forward to seeing it. And I'm glad I did. It was cute, but it wasn't. I don't think I liked it as much as like Hairspray,
Hmm.
the movie musical or producers. But you know, it's okay. Or Wicked. Wicked was incredible. So yeah, I loved Wicked. Um,
I haven't
yeah.
seen it yet. My nieces have seen it, and my sister, my other sister, but I haven't seen it yet.
It's really good. It's I think theater in general is kind of like a niche where I think it's not something everybody's into. Like my fiance, he's not a theater person at all.
Yeah.
He's like a jock, loves sports. Um, but he is like supportive of like, me liking theater. So
Mhm.
he is like, I've been begging him to go see Wicked for Good with me in theater, and he's like, no, it's not my thing. I'm sorry. But I think he would for me. But um, Wicked is, I think if you see Wicked, definitely see the stage version first because it's incredible on stage, and it's nice to like see the action right there in front of you.
Oh, okay.
It's really really good, and it's a great story. I love this
Yep.
story, and the characters are so likable. So when I heard that they were making a movie, I was like, wow, that's going to be huge. And that's going to make
Yeah.
probably millions of dollars. And
Yep.
I was right. They made
Yep.
millions of dollars.
Tons of money.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
my favorite the I've seen a lot of plays because Sarah was in a lot and Rachel was in a lot. But I loved seeing them in plays because I knew someone in it. But I saw Phantom of the Opera one time, which it was awesome. I thought the chandelier coming down was real, so I like
Yes.
flipped out. And then Sarah got, because she was in a wheelchair, she had muscular dystrophy. She got a Make-A-Wish thing. And so we went to New York and we got to see Beauty and the Beast on Broadway.
Oh,
And
I'm so jealous.
that was amazing. Like even my dad, who doesn't like won't go out of his way to watch a theater production or whatever, he loved it. It was you could not love it. Like it was
I would
so
love
good.
to see Beauty and the Beast on stage. That is so cool.
Yeah, it was so
Yeah.
good.
That's awesome. Was there anybody like famous in the Beauty and the Beast production you saw?
She could tell you, I couldn't. I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah. That's
But
cool. Yeah, because
it
I
was
know like
really
a lot
good.
of times. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying it was really good.
That is so cool. Oh man, that's one show I haven't seen on Broadway quite yet. They have Aladdin on Broadway too, which I really want to see.
My favorite Disney movie. I
I
love Aladdin.
love that movie, and it's one of my favorite Disney soundtracks too. I love the
Yes.
songs in
Yep.
Aladdin. Oh,
Love it.
such a good movie. I still have my old VHS tape from when I was little of
Really?
Aladdin. Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
awesome.
Oh, I love Disney movies. Love Disney movies. Um, one of it's one of my favorite childhood memories is like getting a new Disney movie at the store
Yes.
and then putting it in the VHS and watching it at home. It was so much
And,
fun.
and they always came in like really cool. It wasn't just the normal like clamshell VHS thing. A lot of them came in like with a little toy or I don't know if you remember
Yes.
that, but it
Yes.
was
Oh
so
no, I
cool.
totally do. That was so cool. Or like remember Nickelodeon, the video tapes would be orange.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how you always knew it's like a Nickelodeon movie is that the videotape was orange.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is yeah, a good times because I remember um I think I my parents rented for me and my sister the Rugrats movie.
Oh,
Um
yeah.
and yeah, the first thing we noticed is like, oh, the videotape is orange like Nickelodeon. And
That's
so
so
it
cool.
kind of was like their branding, which is actually super clever. I actually
Yeah.
follow EG Daily on Instagram. She's the voice of Tommy Pickles.
Oh, really?
And yes, I and she is just the cutest little like voice actress ever. And she used to be an on-screen actress too, because she did like Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Oh,
She
yeah.
was
Yeah.
Dottie, and I just always thought she was like adorable. And she's also the voice of uh, I forgot her name, the green Powerpuff Girl. I think her name is Buttercup. I
Maybe.
think, yeah, I think
I
it's
didn't watch
Buttercup.
Powerpuff Girls.
She's been a voice of so many cartoons. She's really talented. But yeah, she was the voice of Tommy Pickles, and she'll like do Tommy Pickles' voice in like her Insta reels, and it's like,
Oh wow,
this is like so iconic.
that's cute. Speaking
Oh,
of
she's
TV, what's your favorite TV show? That's another question.
you know, I really gravitate towards like 60s and 70s TV shows,
I've
like
noticed.
classic. You've probably seen my posts on how much I love the show Bewitched.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yep, I love Bewitched. Um, I love a lot of classic 60s TV shows because I love that time period. I'm a very retro person in general, so
Yeah.
um but I also really love there's this one show that I used to love. It was like I forgot what it was called, but it was a reality show where it was a competition. All these actresses would compete. They were competing to be Elle Woods on Broadway. So I really enjoyed that
Oh,
show. Yeah, it was really cool. And I love a lot of like, let's see. Um, I'm trying to think. It's on the tip of my tongue. There's I don't really watch a lot of like Netflix shows per se. Um, but when I do Netflix once in a while, I enjoyed the show Dairy Girls. It's a show from Ireland and it's about like these they're high schoolers and it's just like their day-to-day life in an Irish high school and it's pretty cool. The only thing is I have to have subtitles on because their Irish accents are so strong that it's sometimes it's a little bit difficult to understand, which I feel so horrible about because they're speaking the same language as I am.
yeah.
It's just it's but the accent is so strong that it sometimes is a little bit hard to understand and I feel bad because I'm pretty sure they get our American TV shows and I wonder if they have a hard time understanding our accents.
Sure they do.
Yeah, so I've always wondered that, but it's a cute show. But yeah, I would say I mostly am really into like classic retro TV shows.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah. So I love all those shows. I Love Lucy.
I was
Um,
just gonna mention that. Me and my grandmother used to watch I Love Lucy together all the time.
oh, isn't Lucille Ball
Yeah. Uh,
incredible? Yeah,
that
that show was magic. That was such a great show.
what was it? The Vita Vitamin or whatever when she's
Vita Vita Metavigiman. I think that's how you say
yes,
it. It's
yeah.
so funny.
I was dying.
I
Oh
was
yeah.
dying. Yeah, so funny. She oh my gosh, she was well I worked with a director that he did Broadway as a kid in New York and Lucille Ball came to one of his Broadway shows and
Oh wow.
Lucille Ball told him he did a good job in his show and
Wow.
I was like I would like be bragging about that for the rest of my life that Lucille Ball told me that I did a good job in my show. Like
Oh,
I think I would get that tattooed on my arm.
that
Lucille
would be
Ball
my
told me I did a
bio
good
in all
job.
my social medias.
Right. I'd be like, yeah, I got praised by Lucille Ball. I can die happy now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was, yeah, I was so jealous. But yeah, Lucille Ball was great, and she was a powerhouse for sure. But yeah, I Love
Yeah.
Lucy is a timeless great show. I love that show.
What about
And they
music?
used
Are
to
you more 50s, 60s with music?
music. So music, love music. I really, yeah, I really love 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s music. I love a lot of like metal.
Oh, really?
Um, I love metal. I love a lot of punk music. I love punk music. Um, Metal, I want to say mostly like 80s and 90s metal and punk. Um, 80s punk, thrash punk. I love thrash punk. So if you've ever heard of the band, um, An example of thrash punk would be like the band Suicidal Tendencies. They're a band from
Okay.
LA. They sing this one song called Institutionalized that I really like. Um and it's a very classic like thrash punk song. So I'm really into that whole like punk thing. I love a lot of like 80s new wave synth pop, like Depeche Mode. I love The Doors because yeah,
Yeah.
psychedelic rock is one of my favorites.
You
Oh
know
yeah,
the
I like a lot
band
of like
Yes?
oh, I'm sorry.
Do you know the band Yes?
Yes, I do.
That's my favorite, my dad's favorite band. He's been their concerts like 100 times.
Good for him. That is cool. I love concerts. Yeah, concerts are fun. Has he met the band or he's just like seen them play or
So this is a point of contention with us. So when I was younger, I it was my first ever concert was Yes, because he loves them. And I think I was like 10 or 12, something like that. And I went to the bathroom and there's a guy standing next to me going to the bathroom and all these people around him. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And he looks right over to me. He's like, you have no idea who I am, do you? And I was like, no, why would I? Like in my head, I'm like, why do I care who you are? I'm trying to go to the bathroom. And he's like, I'm Steve Howe. I'm the guitarist for Yes. And my
oh, that's
dad,
awesome.
when I went back to my seat, my dad was pissed. He's like, "Why didn't you get an autograph?" I was like, "I was in the bathroom going to the."
That is amazing. How old were you?
I was like 10, something like that.
Oh, okay. That is awesome. Oh my gosh, that's so
Yeah.
cool.
And now I like worship the guy because I appreciate music more. So he's an amazing guitarist. And
That is so
so
awesome.
it's just really, every time somebody asks about Yes, my dad kind of gets a little aggravated that I didn't get an
He gets like,
autograph.
my son got to meet him, but I did not. And he probably holds it against you to this day. He's like, how
Yep.
did you not get like a picture or an autograph? And you're just like, but because dad, I was taking a whiz. It'd
I
be
know.
so
What do you want me
awkward.
to have him pee on a piece of paper?
Yeah, exactly. Pee his autograph. That is so cool though. I would talk about that for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Well, my favorite band is Alter Bridge. I don't know if you ever heard of them.
No, what genre are they?
So they're rock metal kind of you know Creed? Do you remember
Yes,
Creed?
yes, love
So
Creed.
they they broke up and the rest of the guys minus Scott Stapp because Scott Stapp like thought he was Jesus and stuff like he had a real breakdown. Um he they got a new singer called Miles Kennedy who's amazing and they got like a lot rocker, like a lot, not like Christian rock kind of thing. Even though they were great, Creed was amazing, but this band is a lot harder rock. And I met them like just walking down the street of Nova to not Nova Scotia. Where was it? Montreal. Just walking down the street of Montreal, there was Mark Tremonti, their guitarist, and Miles Kennedy, the singer.
That is so cool. Oh
Yeah,
my
and
gosh.
they're huge. The guitarist, Mark Tremonti, was massive, so I didn't want to speak to him. I was
You're
scared.
like, I'll be sure to remember not to piss you off because you are a
Yeah,
big dude.
but yeah,
That's so neat. It's always fun to meet like your favorite bands, and your favorite musicians. It's probably like an out of body experience because
yeah.
you follow their careers for so long and then you meet them and then you're like, oh my God, this is so weird. Like I'm breathing the same oxygen as them right now. It's definitely a surreal feeling for sure.
The
That's
best one
cool.
that I ever did was you know Lincoln Park.
Yes.
I met
Yes.
Chester
Oh, no
the
way.
before he died, obviously, but he I won a like meet and greet, and I was in the line and the power went out for like
Oh
20 30 minutes and he was so cool and just stayed like a lot of bands would have been like okay we got to reschedule this whatever he stayed there and talked to us for the whole
no.
time he was
That's so
so cool.
nice. Poor guy, because he took his own life, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Poor guy. Ugh. I remember because I have a lot of friends that are very huge fans of Linkin Park, and when he passed, it was devastating.
Yeah,
Um,
he was
it
brilliant.
he really was, and it he broke so many hearts
Hmm.
when that happened. Oh, so it's such a horrible day in music history. It's yeah, when it's weird because like I would always think of him as, being on the top. He's in this world famous
Yeah,
band, and yet with depression doesn't care who you are, your if your brain chemistry is a little bit off,
yep,
it's so hard to combat. And even with medication, I feel horrible for people who struggle with depression. I've lost a few friends to the same thing, and it's hard because it's very hard to find the right medication mix for some
yeah.
people. And I refer to depression as like a cancer of the mind cancer. um because yeah, your brain chemistry is just very off. It's so sad when Chester passed away.
Yeah.
um
I take medicine for that, like depression, anxiety, and stuff. But the medicine seems to be working pretty good. But
that's good.
I like how you're talking about it because I hate when people are so hush hush about the issues and stuff like that. Because you should talk about it so it helps other people and stuff. Like me and
Yes,
I have a couple of cousins that have the same thing, and we have like a group chat that always, what medicine are you doing? Does that work? How are you today? Stuff like that. So it works really well.
that is good. I take medicine for anxiety.
Mhm.
I don't really seem to get depression, but I am very prone to anxiety to the point where it affects my daily life. So I do
Mhm.
have to take medication for that, and it's a struggle. But I think the medication, I found the right mix of medication, and I think it works very well. So I can
Yeah.
live more of a normal life now, but without it, it's pretty tough. But yeah, it's I think with depression, it seems like it's just from what I've heard, it can be a little bit harder to find the right mix.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think just because too of like the side effects of the medication, sometimes it comes with like unpleasant side effects. So it can be tough to find that right mix that goes with your body chemistry. Um, and it's always good to know that, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and people do find the medication plus, therapy and working through it.
Yeah, ask for help because
Yes.
for when after my, not to get in too into the woods, but after my sister passed, that was the biggest thing was like I didn't ask for any help and my dad kept like, come on, I'm getting help. Why are like you need to come on? And then when I finally did, I'm like, whoa, oh, hello, I'm awake again, kind of thing. Like,
Yes. And it's a traumatic experience to lose
yeah,
somebody, especially in your family. Cause my uncle, as you know, passed away back in
yes,
July and or June, and we weren't expecting it. He was young. So it's getting like, grief counseling is super important. And yeah, I had a really hard time when my grandpa passed away.
yeah,
It's hard when anybody passes away, but it's extremely hard when it's somebody like a close family member. Um, yeah, that's rough. So, and losing a sibling is terrible. Like, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Um, and yeah, it's horrible. And um, so I think it's super important that when, a traumatic loss like that happens, to, find and it's hard. I totally get it, to find the strength to find like grief counseling or grief therapy, but it's hard to kind of make that first step because
it's very,
you may just be like, oh, I don't need help with like, but and then you find out you do need and it's okay. Like
yeah,
it's not easy to lose somebody we love. So grief counseling can help a lot, and then you can grieve in a healthy way. Um, and it helps. It really does help a lot. And talking about it too helps a lot.
Music. Speaking of music, has been really helpful for me. Like when she first passed, there's a song. Have you ever heard of the band Need to Breathe?
No,
You
no.
have to look them up. They're really good.
Uh-huh.
There's a song called Brother, and before she passed, I'm part of this group called the Knights of Columbus, and I was the leader at one point. I became the Grand Knight, which is a very big honor,
That's
and
cool.
she sang Brother to me, and it was like really cool, and it was a nice time. So after she passed, when I heard that song, I would like get depressed and stuff like that. And it's cool
Oh, of
to
course.
think now when I hear that song, it's more of a like, oh hey, Sarah's here kind of thing, and like, let's go.
Oh, yeah,
Like
it's like a
it's
sign from her.
yeah, it's such a
Yeah.
different mindset of it. It's cool.
That is cool. I'm so sorry that you lost her. It sounds like you guys were super close. You mentioned earlier in the interview muscular dystrophy. Did she
Yeah.
have muscular? Oh, okay. Yes. My friend, one of my good friends' mom had muscular dystrophy too.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it's a cruel disease.
Mm.
It's yeah, it was always it's a tough disease to see your loved one go through. So and then it's kind of like when they pass, it's hard. And then at the same time, you're just kind of like, God, I miss them so much, but I love knowing that they're not suffering anymore
Yeah.
with the muscular dystrophy. But then at the same time, it's like, but I just miss them so much. Or with any disease, really, it's like,
Yeah.
you know, you miss them and you're also like glad that they're not suffering in their body anymore
Yep.
and that they can finally be free. So it's kind of like, you know, I don't know, yin
Yeah,
and yang.
we have a lot of that. Like we always say, so she got told, or I should say my parents got told because she was too young, but my parents got told she wasn't going to live past like 14 years old.
Oh,
And
wow.
she lived to 38, I think. I
Wow.
think it was. So
Wow.
that's a silver lining of it. And
That is.
also she died right before the pandemic hit.
Mm,
And we always look back to like obviously it's awful that she passed and stuff like that, but we always look back and say if she had to go through the pandemic, it would have been horrible for her because
it would have.
she would have never been able to get out of her house because muscular dystrophy is an autoimmune disease. So she would have easily been catching COVID and stuff like that. So she
Uh,
would have had a horrible, what was it, 2 years at least?
yeah.
So
And
it's
it would
kind of
have,
a cool,
yeah.
like a silver lining to think of, like she didn't have to suffer through that.
And okay, yeah. Yeah, she probably would have been very at risk for COVID affecting
Mm.
her incredibly bad. Yeah. I'm glad she didn't have to suffer through that either, because that it's another added anxiety onto what she probably was already going through. Yeah, I know a lot of people that had, already some disorders or diseases, and they were had to be super careful during the
Yeah.
COVID. And like elderly, like my grandma, yeah, but yeah, I my friend's mom also had muscular dystrophy, so I'm aware of like just how tough it is for them to go through. And she always had a good attitude though. And
So did Sarah. She was
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
didn't
And
bother her. It was kind
yeah,
of wild.
like I was saying, it's a cruel disease. And because you're born with it, right? I think it's like a gene
Yeah, she was
thing.
born with, she could walk until she was, I want to say 6 or 7, but like very awkwardly walk. And
Hmm.
then there was a decision that needed to be made. Her spine was basically in the shape of an S. And what was happening was it was pressing against organs and stuff.
Oh my God.
So it was either, okay, keep her able to walk, but maybe not be able to live for very much longer, or get that surgery, and then she has to end up. She probably would have ended up in the wheelchair anyways, but end up in the wheelchair and let her have a good normal life, or as normal as possible.
Right, right. Yeah, that's a rough decision for sure. But it sounds like she did a lot in her 38 years.
Yeah.
And it's people like that that are really, I mean, it sounds cliche, but inspiring because it's like it's not
Mhm.
what is that saying? It's like it's not how many years you live, but it's how you live them.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. So she showed us that there's, that you can do anything you put your mind to and you can still
Mhm.
live a happy life even if you have, obstacles in your way. So, it's people like that, they're faced with something that totally sucks and they make the most out of it. So,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And I would love if they came up with a cure for diseases like that so people just don't have to suffer that way. I'm sure they're
Well,
getting there.
hopefully soon.
Mhm.
I mean, that's a good segue to say my nonprofit is the one that's why we do these interviews and stuff, is raising money to try to get, well, one of the part is to Muscular Dystrophy Association. Um, they're trying their hardest to come up with a cure. And then the other one is, I don't know if you know ALS.
Yes,
Yeah.
ALS,
So
another awful disease.
we've
Yes.
had like 4 or 5 people in our family die of that. And
Oh,
so
hmm,
there's a program actually in New Orleans called Team Gleason.
hmm.
There was a football player, Steve Gleason, that played for the Saints, and now he has ALS, and it's awful that he has ALS, but he's like doing so much for the people with ALS and raising so much. Like he's raised millions of dollars, and like it's incredible what he has done. So I hope to be half of what they're doing. So that's what our nonprofit is, like, in honor of Sarah and those people trying to get money for to hopefully come up with cures for those.
Oh, that would be incredible. Yeah, it's that and that's awesome that you started that. It's making a difference in so many people's lives and I think it helps people with those conditions know that they're not alone and that they can take their control back by being, trying to raise money to find cure or at least better treatments so we can like increase their lifespans, increase their comfort so they're
Yeah.
not,
Yeah.
in a lot of pain. Yeah, and I can never say ALS. That's also, I think, autoimmune, right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
It's
ALS,
all
MS.
neurological. I can't say that word. It's all neurological. It hasn't been proven, but I think muscular dystrophy, ALS, MS, all those are all connected, in my
I think so
opinion,
too. Yeah,
because
it
it's
could
all
be.
to do with the brain and that type of stuff.
I think so too. Lupus.
Yeah.
I have a few friends that have lupus, and I had one friend with lupus, and yeah, she suffers a lot. It's very unfair, and yeah, but I think as time goes on and science gets more advanced, there's gonna be better treatments and
Yep.
hopefully a cure, and same for like cancers and such.
Yeah.
Um, yes, that would be great. The all finding a just a cure for all those awful diseases would be incredible. And I
Well,
think it's getting
go
closer.
scientists.
Yes, go scientists. Yes, we need those scientists because they're going to save a lot of tons of lives
Yeah.
and it's gonna make life a whole lot green or a whole lot better for a lot of people and their families too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and but yeah, I've there's people like our age that get ALS. I've seen that before. So it's definitely, yeah, it's awful.
Yeah.
But
It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I've taken a lot of your time. And
This
have you
was
ever thought
fun.
about being a psychologist? You should be a psych. I could talk to you all day. You're so easy.
It was funny. There was a time like when I was a teenager where I wanted to like study psychology. Um but it requires again a lot of
A
math
lot.
and I'm
Yeah.
not good at math and I'm just like, "Oh yeah, never mind."
A lot
um
of schooling, period.
oh yes. I went to college with one girl who was studying to be a psychiatrist and she wanted to prescribe pills for people with any with mental illnesses like
Right.
anxiety, depression, even like schizophrenia, bipolar. That was like her dream. So, yeah, she was telling me she has like 12 years of med school ahead of her. And I'm like, oh, that's a
Right.
lot of work.
I mean, I guess if you keep in mind that you could like really help someone, that'll help you push through. But I'm sure those days, those long days get to you.
The exams and the testing,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, it's stressful for sure. If you go on TikTok and you like go on, like, you look up nurses, what they even just to be a nurse, nursing school is so stressful.
Yes.
And I think they get like exams every week and they have to get an 80% on every exam or they get kicked out of the program.
Oh, I would
And
have been kicked out.
yeah, I would be kicked out the first week.
Wow.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is stressful. So I am just like, oh yeah, go nurses. They work hard.
But yeah, you've been a joy to talk to, and
You
uh, I
too.
appreciate you coming on. Are there any socials or plugs or next
Sure.
like movies or shows or anything?
Yeah, I actually filmed a movie the other day, but I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it yet because I mean, technically in the contract I signed, it didn't say that I wasn't allowed to talk about it, but I'm like scared to talk about it because it's like, what if, I get in trouble for it? But it's really
Is it
cool.
Marvel?
I wish that would be cool. It's not Marvel, but it is a horror movie.
Oh,
And it's
nice.
just it is a sequel to a horror movie.
Okay.
I can say that. And
Well,
so
she'll come back on and tell you about
yeah,
it.
I'll come back on and talk about it. And there, let's see, my Instagram is X underscore Brandi Aguilar, Brandi spelled with an I. And then my TikTok is Brandi underscore Aguilar. And then my Twitter, I still call it Twitter, but it's
Me too.
technically called X now. Yeah, I still think of it as Twitter. My Twitter is just at Brandi Aguilar. Um, what else do I have? Let's see. I have a public Facebook. It's just official Brandi Aguilar. Um, I feel like I'm missing a social media. Um, is there another social media on this thing?
If you
I
miss
think that's
anything,
it.
I'll
Oh, YouTube. Yeah,
oh
there's
yeah,
YouTube.
YouTube. Yeah.
YouTube. The Wild Child Brandi Comedy Hour. You can watch my like more professional comedy skits on there. And then as far as upcoming work, I was recently in a horror movie called Blood Tulip. Um, and a lot of what is coming up, I signed NDAs for. So I wish I could talk about them, but if I talk about them, it would be breach of contract and then I would get fired. And that would not be fun
No.
because it's not out yet. So I can't really talk about them. But I promise when they do come out, I will come back on the podcast and I will talk about
That's
it.
great. That's why I was joking about Marvel because there's a joke that there's like Marvel snipers on all the Avengers making sure that they don't say anything.
That must be so tough. Ugh, I'm kind of bad at keeping secrets. So I feel like I'd accidentally let slip to somebody, oh, I'm in a Marvel movie. But yeah, that would be like
Well,
a joke.
I don't know if you know, they didn't show Tom Holland Spider-Man his script until like he was basically in front of the camera
Oh,
because
whoa.
the first, I forget if it was the Avengers or Spider-Man, whatever he was in, he let slip something. And so from then on, they like basically never told him anything.
that would be tough to learn all those lines in like a minute, like
Yeah,
5 minutes. Oh my goodness, that's so scary. Because
I thought it was
I'm
funny.
one that has to like go over the lines and prepare, and just getting them once on set. That's very stressful.
Yep.
That's so stressful.
But yeah, all her socials and plugs and stuff will be below in the description. And for me, it's Bobbo's World 6886 on Instagram. And obviously you're on my YouTube. It's Bobbo's World. Oh wait, wrong side.
Yay!
And on my back is my nonprofit. It's Sweet Sadie's Difference Makers. You can go to sweetsadie.org. That's SADIE. And donate today. Like I said, we give to ALS and muscular dystrophy and give scholarships to people with disabilities. And it's far away, but we're having an event June 6th, 2026, and we're going to have maybe Brandi and other people at the event and have people sign. I know a lot of wrestlers that come in. They're going to sign autographs and take pictures, and all the money will go towards those great charity. And yeah, so check out sweetsadie.org. And thank you all for watching. Thank you, Brandi. And I'll catch you all next time. Peace.